Hello there, welcome to the program. My name is Eugene Anangwe, sitting in for Alex Chamwada, and the program is coming to you from Kigali, the city that is preparing to host the 27th edition of the African Union Summit, a very significant event that will see the election of a new chairperson that will replace Dr. Dlamini Zuma.
We will be using every opportunity available to take them around, not just in Kigali, but across the country.
We are expecting anywhere from 3,500 to 4,000 delegates.
Also in the program,
kwa kuwa gisi mtu alikuwa naona vita iko Burundi, hangevumilia, inabidi mtu akimbie.
Burundian refugees are most welcome to come back to their country.
It's like all those people, they can't open their eyes and see the problem in front of them.
But first, let's take a look at the fact sheet presented to you by Alex Chamwada.
The African Union is an African continental union of 54 countries. However, Morocco is not a member, having left the union protesting AU's recognition of Western Sahara as a member state. Nevertheless, Morocco has a special status within the African Union and benefits from all services available to AU member states. For instance, the African Development Bank. AU was established on the 26th of May 2001 and later launched on 9th of July 2002 in South Africa. It replaced the Organization of African Unity, OAU, which was established on the 25th of May 1963 in Addis Ababa with just 32 signatory governments. At the time of disbandment, to pave way for AU, the OAU's last chairperson was the then South African President Thabo Mbeki. Important decisions at the organization are made by the Assembly of the African Union. The Assembly holds semi-annual meetings of heads of government and state of all member states. Its secretariat, the African Union Commission, is based in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. The selection of the chair of the union is rotational, based on the north, south, west, east, and central regions of the continent. The chairperson is primarily a ceremonial head elected by the Assembly of Heads of State for a one-year term in office. The current chair is President Idris Deby of Chad. He was preceded by Zimbabwe's Robert Mugabe. The Commission of the African Union, which acts as the administrative branch or secretariat of the AU, is composed of various commissioners in charge of different policy areas including peace and security, political affairs, trade and industry, infrastructure and energy, social affairs, rural economy and agriculture, science and technology, and economic affairs.
This is the Chamwada Report with me, Eugene Anangwe, sitting in for Alex Chamwada from Kigali, Rwanda. Now, in just a few weeks, Rwanda will be hosting the 27th edition of the African Union Summit. Construction work for the Kigali Convention Center and the Marriott Hotel, both of them right there, is currently underway. Those working here are literally leaving no stone unturned to ensure that everything goes as planned. Construction work on the roads leading to the convention center have also been going on. City residents plying this route woke up to 2 new roundabouts that were put up in just 2 days. Louise Mushikiwabo, Rwanda's Minister of Foreign Affairs and Cooperation, told a press conference that her country is ready for the big event in the calendar of the African Union.
We are very ready. We have a lot of activities in town, really readying ourselves and our city and our hotels and other facilities for the many guests. We are expecting anywhere from 3,500 to 4,000 delegates.
She says the summit will bring with it a lot of good news to the people of the continent, starting with the introduction of the African e-passport.
We're looking at ways to speed up and facilitate as much as possible the free movement of people across the continent. Rwanda, as you know, is a country that strongly believes in integration. We have taken our own measures to allow Africans to come to Rwanda and Rwandans to go across the continent. We need to trade amongst ourselves.
The chairperson of the African Union Commission, Dr. Dlamini Zuma, who was in Kigali to follow up on the progress of the preparations for the summit, described this initiative as both symbolic and significant. The theme of the AU summit in Kigali will be African Year of Human Rights, with particular focus on the rights of women.
We at the African Union have started something called the Gender Scorecard, where we look at different aspects of women's lives and say how far has each country moved in that aspect, whether it's access to clean water, whether it's access to electricity, whether it's participation in parliament, in business, whether it's land rights. So we hope that this will also create enough momentum to move things forward when each country is scored and it sees where it is and it sees that there is a country that has achieved, and so it knows it's possible.
The first group of beneficiaries of the African e-passport will include AU heads of state and government, ministers of foreign affairs, and the permanent representatives of the AU member states based at the AU headquarters in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia.
The introduction of the e-passport, the Africa-wide e-passport, is coming at a crucial time when, in actual fact, here in East Africa, particularly in the Northern Corridor, we have been witnessing the changes that have been making it a lot easier for our citizens to travel, even without requiring a passport, just using an ID. I envision a time when even the Africa-wide passport will no longer be necessary and Africans can travel across borders just using their national IDs. That's a trend that we can expect. And indeed, that will contribute significantly to growing businesses across border and between African countries.
The hospitality industry expects a boom in business during the AU summit in Kigali. Charles Muya is the general manager of the Kigali Serena Hotel.
The numbers that we are expecting from the African Union Summit, the numbers are a little big. You know, it's like 3,500 people being in town, and therefore we expect that everybody will be busy. And therefore, you know, we are working all together to make sure that this summit goes through in the best manner ever. And because this is a summit that for sure and for once will be able to put Rwanda in the best place in the, in the World Forum map. What I would like to tell all the teams that are preparing for this African Union Summit, it is a very important summit. It is an image to Africa, and it's an image to this country, and therefore we must put our best foot forward to make sure that the delivery of this service is flawless.
As Africa comes to Rwanda for the African Union Summit, we do know that many of them have capacity to actually invest and to do business with Rwanda, and we are conscious of the fact that they will be looking around for such opportunities. So we will be taking good care of them. We will be using every opportunity available to take them around, not just in Kigali, but across the country, so that the new Rwanda can be witnessed by our guests. Let's face it, Africans are increasingly growing in affluence, and many are already having some substantial savings to put aside as investment. So we do believe that there will be many Africans coming to the African Union Summit here that will be looking for such business opportunities.
More than 3,000 high-level delegates are expected to be in attendance at the summit, including about 50 African heads of state.
It's going to be a very exciting time, particularly from the 10th of July to the 18th of July. So the heads of state meetings will be 16th of July, 17th of July, and 18th of July is the closing day.
One of the major highlights of the summit will be the election of officials into the 10 elective positions in the Commission's Secretariat, which is entrusted with executive functions. The positions include the Commission's Chairperson, who will take over from Dr. Dlamini Zuma, a Deputy Chairperson, and 8 commissioners. 3 candidates have put their names forward for the position of the Commission's Chairperson. They include Botswana's Foreign Affairs Minister, 65-year-old Pelonomi Venson Moitoi, who is the candidate of the Southern African Development Community SADC. 60-year-old former Ugandan Deputy President Specioza Naigaga Kazibwe, a candidate for the East African region. And 51-year-old Equatorial Guinea's Foreign Affairs Minister Agapito Mokoi for the Central African region. It is time to take a short break, but when we come back,
kwa kuwa gisi mtu alikuwa naona vita iko Burundi, hangevumilia, inabidi mtu akimbie.
Burundian refugees are most welcome to come back to their country.
It's like all those people, they can't open their eyes and see the problem in front of them.
do stay with us.